So my 3 months of my wintering in my RV in South Texas is coming to an end. I need to get everything put away and stowed so that nothing flies around when we drive. I need to get my car packed and I need to get all of this picked up. I've had a lot of insomnia lately, and this place has gotten a little messy, as you can see. I usually don't keep it like this, but I like to give everything a good cleaning before I go. RV life is so dusty, and we hadn't had any rain until that last rain that I showed you. And they said it hadn't rained since like July of last year. So the cabinets, the mirrors, everything just cover with dust day to day. So I give everything a good wipe down and put everything away because I pick up my husband late at the airport, and then the very next morning, we put away the hoses and the electrical cord, and we go fill with gas and we head out. And it is a very early morning with a long day of driving. So I hope you'll come along with me. You'll get to meet my husband in this video, and you'll get to talk to him about how he feels about me spending 3 months in the valley without him and how he feels about me retiring before he did. A lot of you have questions about that, so I thought it would just be fair to just let him answer. Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. And right now, I'm spending the winter in my RV in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. I normally live in Kansas. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year in 2025 as we share ways to save money and live our dreams. I have to get this carpet picked up and rolled and bungeed to the bumper and all of these plants put away so that we can take off in the morning. Red peppers are $1.79 at the store, but I got these at the flea market for 50 cents each, so I'm chopping these up and putting them in baggies in the freezer to take home. I am ready to go home. I woke up to 96% humidity again this morning, but I'm not sure if Fluff is ready to go back and share his home with other cats. So am I ready to go home? I am. I'm ready to go home. I've done everything I wanted to do on my list this year. I have things I want to do at home and do this summer. So I am ready. And I'm ready to see my kids, my grandkids, and my husband. So now it's time to go get my husband from the airport. His flight was a little bit early, and Fluff is so happy to see her papa, and I'm happy to see him as well because it has been 3 months other than FaceTime. I'm always just a little bit melancholy about leaving Texas and heading home to Kansas because I know it is going to be cold there, colder than what I have been used to. It was 90 degrees today, and we are heading home to weather in the 50s. So that will be a big change for me. I will be back in long pants, a long sleeve shirt, and a jacket. Our first night, we stayed around the Denton, Texas area. It's raining, and my poor husband is out there putting away all the cords of the RV so we can take off in the cold rain. And I got a call while we were in Denton that Brownie somehow got out of his pen. And so I have fence to fix when I get home. The neighbor girl said he was down at her house down the road. She has horses. I asked her if she had a pen she could put him in until we got there, and she said she could. And I have to show you some of this Arbuckle Wilderness mountain area that we drive through in Oklahoma. It is always my favorite stretch of the highway. Where I live, it is super flat. You can see for miles. So I find stuff like this so fun to see because it is just so extraordinary compared to where I live. Now, if you live in the mountains and you get to see this stuff all the time, it may not be a big deal, but I just find it so beautiful. So we made it home. It is raining here in Kansas. They're thanking us for bringing the rain with us. But I want to pull my husband in here just for a few minutes to ask him the three top questions that I get asked all the time. And I told him I thought it would be best if you guys heard it from him rather than hearing what I interpret him to say on those questions. So here he is. So, this is my husband, Brent, and I am going to ask him some of the burning questions that you guys have been asking me about our uncoupled retirement. I retired at the end of 2023 and he is still working. So, Brent, how do you feel about me retiring at the end of 2023?
I fully supported it due to a doctor's error. There's health concerns, there's a lot of pain, and I didn't think you needed the stress of working, and so I fully supported your retirement.
Okay. And how do you feel about me wintering 3 months without you? I've done this now for 2 years.
It's actually kind of a multifaceted question in that my parents are down there, and it's kind of amazed me seeing my parents get to the age they are and realizing that they revert to teenagers and that they think that they can do things that they really shouldn't do or can't do. And so having that backup down there with my parents is really, it helps me accept that they're down there and I don't worry quite as much. And then also, we met late. We met at 44 years old and got married 3 years later. It's I think that makes it a little bit more of a mature relationship where we don't have to be together constantly. On top of that, and Bonita's even said this, is that we tend to talk more when she's down there because we'll be on FaceTime for an hour at a time every day. And if not on FaceTime, then it's on the phone because I have an hour drive from work. And if I work late, I'm on the phone with her driving. And so we actually probably communicate more with you being down there.
That's true.
So it's perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt our relationship in any way. And I really support her being there because she's miserable when it's cold due to her back injuries and things like that. And so I'm perfectly fine with it.
And why have you not retired yet? Everybody wonders why I'm retired and you're still working.
One time, she says that she doesn't, but sometimes I think she nags me about retiring. But one time I said, "Look, if you want me to retire, I'll retire, but I have to ask you a question. Are you ready to have a miserable husband at home?" I enjoy working. I like having a mission. That's kind of how I am. I'm kind of mission oriented, and I like going to work. I like having the income. I If I was home, I'm afraid with even with everything that needs to be done around here, that one, I'm a little too old to do a lot of it, and I just wouldn't be happy. And if I'm not happy, she's not happy, and vice versa. Men always make the joke of happy wife, happy life. Well, it works the opposite too. And I'm afraid I would make her absolutely miserable if I were to retire at this point.
Okay, well, thank you for taking time to answer that, and I'll be right back on the video. So, I had a question on how we handle our finances when I'm in Texas. So, when I'm home, we split the food, we split the electricity, we split the internet, and that is mainly what our bills are all the time, unless we need to get a fill of propane. And if we do, then we will split that. But our home costs month to month are about $200. And then when I'm here, we have food for both of us. We split that. But when he's here, he has food that's already here and he can buy anything extra that he wants because we have a good pantry and a good freezer. but he pays the $200 a month that it takes to pay the electricity, the internet, and half of the two small streaming services that we have for the TV, and that equals about $200. So he pays that when he's here by himself. When I'm here, we split that. So it's not that much, 100, 200. It's not that much. And then when I am in Texas, I'm covering my own lot rent, my own electricity, my own internet, my own food, because I am very independent. And he will tell you that as well. I don't want help. I want to know I can support myself with or without somebody with me. And I just am very stubborn like that. So we got home and we had to get the donkey back in. The girl was wonderful. She had been working on training him while she had him for those 24 hours. She helped lead him back on that homemade bridle that she made, and we got him into a pen that's just temporary right now because we have to fix fence, but we made sure the fence was really good. So he's in there. There was actually some grass for him to graze on. It was much better than the pasture grass, even. So he's perfectly happy in there for right now. And then as soon as it stops raining, we will get the fence fixed and open him up to several acres again. But she enjoyed him so much. She has horses, not a donkey, and donkeys have an attitude. We've had trouble before where you put like a rope around his neck and his feet won't move because he doesn't want his feet to move. So he's not going to. And you could have three people trying to pull on him and he's not going to move his feet. And it was amazing because she trains horses, she does rodeo, and to watch what she had done in 24 hours, she could lead him on that harness. He would come up and push her in the back and she'd push back, and he'd spin his butt around and she'd push his butt back around. And then he would just walk and just follow her, just as tame as you could believe. Now he's tame. We can pet him. We can give him treats. It's just, and he follows us in the pasture. But when we get out of the pasture and try to get him back in, he's like, I'm not moving. So it was thrilling to see her do that. She makes her homemade bridles. So we may end up buying one from her and working with him some more because she said he is super smart and he's got to be at least 20 years old. So when I got him from my dad had two that were too wild to load. And that's how I ended up with the two that I had. We had one die about a year and a half ago, and it was of old age. But we had those two that were too wild for my dad, and we got them tamed down where you could pet them, they would come to the fence, you could give them treats, they would follow you in the pasture. So I thought we were doing great, but after seeing what she did in 24 hours, we were blown away. We had to take videos and send them to the kids and say, you're not going to believe what she got Brownie to do. But we are home. There's lots of cleaning in the camper. There's laundry. There's some cleaning around the house that needs done. I've got a huge stack of mail. So we've just got a lot to get caught up on. But I wanted to give you a quick video and let you know that we made it home safe and some of the excitement along the way, plus let you meet my husband and have him answer those questions. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in today. I will see you the next time. Videos are on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 a.m. and Saturdays at 9. I hope to see you soon.